No, not at all. Never. I'm pretty sure everything's in proportion. Oh, Pierce. God, this hat's hot already. How does Santa wear this for a whole night and, like, fucking going around the world and shit? Okay. Loading. Alright. Ooh. Okay. Sweet. Is this a triumph? Ooh, so. Oh, well, I signed it. I didn't mean to. I was just testing what buttons do what. It's a little laggy for me, but I think it's because I got it in windowed mode. Maybe I should have just tried it in full screen. Although, I think it would have crashed once I'd closed it in full screen. Oh, so yeah, let's jump in it. So the aim of the game is basically like manipulating how shit looks. So we can make like this really teeny or really big. I just got to figure out how to make it big. I'm gonna get it big for y'all. You can't hear it? Oh, I know why. How about now? Rub it. That's what I was thinking, but oh, now we get it.
Remember today, little brother.
Today,
life is good.
Right, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. Whoa! That had a FUD to it, man. That had more than just a FUD to it. Okay. Oh shit, I made it too small. Well, that's how it goes, isn't it? Perception is reality. Alright. Oh, hello. Leave that one over there. So, make it really small. Fuck y'all. Excuse me. Ooh,
Hi,
smoothie like. Hey. And bro, I got a starter set for and with a pre-made. I got a starter set. Oh, for Christmas and with a pre-made adventure. What, like a D&D type one? Is that what you're meaning?
Terms of service accepted. Congratulations on falling asleep. Welcome
mate.
to Somnasculpt.
Sometimes
Your progress
it's
may be
difficult.
monitored by qualified specialists. This orientation will adapt you to eyelids, our interactive, lucid induction dream state in which you retain full consciousness and control.
Oh, I like consciousness. Okay. Oh, do I want to get on that? There's a door over there, and there's a door here. Which door do I want? What you got? What are you saying, fam? Oh, why am I spinning? And D&D fucking A, nice. That's a little cube. Alright, so I'll come back to that. Is there a run button? Oh, this is the door I came in, wasn't it? I'm being an idiot. Yep. You did hear D&D, yeah. Bakura got a D&D thing, like a pre-made D&D thing, which we should check out. Okay. Dicks and dicks, yeah. No. Slut. Okay. Can I grab it from here? Oh, I can. Oh, okay, well that's good. I need to get better at figuring out how to make it like giant. That didn't like change its size at all, really, did it? I think looking directly up seems to be good. That's big enough for now, anyway. Yeah, get fucked, door. I know your shit. Starter kit costs like 600 shekels here, so you stick to PDFs fair. And that's why you'll never get to Bakura's level. Oh, I want it back now. Thank you. That's big enough, right? Yeah, got him. Have a hexadice tray though. Oh, is that a tray for like
Confirmed.
hexaloads
You
of
can
dice?
move freely, interact with surrounding objects, and listen to messages from your patient care team. Please note that I am the standard orientation protocol, and that my voice has been explicitly chosen to remind you that I am not a part of your patient care team.
Thank you.
I do not care.
Oh. Oh. Thank you, GLaDOS. Or not GLaDOS. GLaDon'ts. You have GLaDOs and you have GLaDon'ts, you know what I'm saying? Check. Mate. Come on. A couple sets of dice. Hexagonal felt dice rolling tray. Damn, nice. That sounds pretty cool. Hey, and Charm. How you doing, dude? Merry Christmas to you too, buddy. Hope you're having a delightful day. Oh, that's way too far back. Stay. You got a hexa tray, felt and purple? Damn! I need to get myself a felted purple hexa tray. I'm lacking, man. Everyone else is on it. Right, so it's up there. Hold shoulder buttons to rotate. But I can rotate without holding the shoulder button. What? Oh, wait, no, hold up. Once I'm holding something, right? Yeah, that makes more sense. Alright, cool. Cheese, Gromit! Alright. If you could be as big as possible. No! No, you fell over and you're too small. Oh shit, how do I roll? There we go, cool. That looks bigger. I just need to make it even bigger. Can I do it? We'll try and get some air. Here, boy.
During eyelids, you will lose the ability to awaken suddenly due to realizing that this is a dream. Evidence.
Oh, cool.
I have already informed you that this is a dream. You did not wake up.
I did.
Please complete
I'm just
the
stirring in my
remaining
bedroom now.
orientation activities.
It just takes me a while to, you know, get out of bed. You haven't watched Wallace and Gromit properly in forever. To be honest, it's been more than time than I even know, really, since I've watched Wallace and Gromit. I used to love that shit. Do I have to put it in there? Let's make it really teeny. I'll make it even teenier. That's pretty teeny. Get him. I also want to see what's in here. I am meant to go through there, right? Yeah, I believe so. I think my favourite one was it was the one where it was the one with the chicken. Oh no, was it a penguin? It was a penguin pretending to be a chicken, wasn't it? The one where he stole Wallace's pants, his trousers.
Warning.
Oh, okay.
You have deviated from the orientation pathway.
No, don't worry, I'm just
At
getting
the
a soda.
Pierce Institute, patient
Okay.
safety is a keynote.
What do you guys
in our
want? Red soda,
corporate
green soda,
priority
diet soda,
tetrahedron.
random soda,
A
baking
variable
soda, mini
degree of
soda, or
force
water
can
soda.
and will be authorized to ensure patient safety.
Last time we watched was whenever
Please
that
return to
rabbit
the
one came out.
orientation
That
pathway.
probably was the last time I watched it as well, actually. I remember the were rabbit one, wasn't it? Which is hard to say without sounding like you have a lisp. Penguin with a kitchen glove on its head. Yeah, that's it. I want baking soda, random soda. Okay. We'll do it in the order that people said. Okay. So, baking soda. I don't think there is a soda. I'll go random soda as well. And another baking soda, I guess. The power of Christ compels you. Can I go through the door? No, I'll use the other door. What I wanted was a Pepsi. Thank you. Assuming I put this through the crack. Oh, all the way down there? Oh, that made it real small. Yeah. No, that didn't work. Get in your hole? No. You got baking soda? I think I probably have baking soda or powder in my cupboard somewhere. Oh, okay.
All environments perceived during eyelids should reflect a typical mental state. If you believe your mental state was compromised by Somnasculpt, please provide a comprehensive, rational explanation in your post-procedural survey.
I will.
Completed surveys may be eligible for a gift card.
Shit! Oh, I've made it too big. Oh shit, way too big. The snowflakes aren't helping the Twitch thing. Yeah, I was wondering if why it was maybe all going a bit more laggy. Let me try turning it off. Let me know if this actually makes stuff run better for you guys. Is the stream running better without the snow on? Got him. Got him. Night and day? Oh, really? It looks fine to you, mate? Alright, fair. I know Gil has really, really shit internet. He only has like 1 million down and up, so he just can't watch streams. But if that is helping people, I'll keep it off for now. We'll put it on, we'll leave it on for like, giveaway screens and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's different rooms, right? This game itself is a little laggy for me. Like, this isn't 60 frame. Why is that moving a bit weird? It's because my mouse is plugged in. There's some nice apples. How about those up? Oh! Oh, I see. I don't have to worry about which direction I'm taking because it's all the same. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Or the shittest best internet. What about the bittest chest internet? Okay. Now is where we start faltering. Hey, I'm Val! How you doing today, buddy? Merry Christmas! A shame that not all internet is created equally, right? Wait, hold up. Yeah. It's on an angle? What? Oh, this was on an angle, yeah. And do I have to make it massive so it touches both? That's not the least bit massive, is it? I've seen jungle much more massive. No, no, no! Hit it that way. Hit it that way. Son of a bitch. Just... Nope. Slut burger. Where is it? Oh, fuck's sake. Just stay on the goddamn thing. There we go. We got it. We got. No, fuck you! No, I didn't change the size again. It doesn't fall when you want it to fall. It only falls when you're like, please don't. I actually didn't say please to it at any point, I guess. I'm sure I used the shadow as a guide. There we go. Don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare, don't you dare. Oh, I'm gonna die! No! Yeah! Okay. And Val, this I've seen clips of this game, and even so far, it's been a lot of fun. It's trippy as fuck.
To maximize the time allotted for your therapeutic
There's like
journey,
weird delay
please
on
do
the
not
controller
delay
at
in
times, though.
proceeding through the final doorway as indicated.
I'm just gonna check some options. Because my game feels like it's quite laggy at times. Okay. Is it because... Let me just see. Let me try using my mouse and keyboard. Maybe that'll make it a bit more smoother. A little bit. Okay, and then I can turn shit like that, right? Huh. Isn't Portal 3 actually happening or something like under a different name? Oh, is it? I hadn't heard that, but that sounds cool. I'll be bang on Portal 3, man. I'll never forget, like, when me and Bakoro played Portal 2. Good times. Game is just super laggy at times. I don't know if it's because I've had to put it in windowed mode. Yeah, get fucked, walls. Yeah, bringing down the walls. And Louis, how you doing today, dude? Merry Christmas, my man. Hey, Jude. Merry Pagan Pie. You know it. Not that you've heard you'd love for Portal 3 to happen. Yeah, right. Alden got you Animal Crossing. You can be a cool kid now. Nice. Who's Alden? Obviously someone who's cool as fuck giving you, you know, Animal Crossing, but... Can I? No, I wanted a zip. Little sip. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Loading! Make it the best island. The best in the world. I'm going to give it a rating out of 73, and if it doesn't hit at least 46, you might have it taken away. Fucking alarms. 3 AM? What nutter is setting their alarm for 3 AM? Apart from, I guess, Dustman. Private. Oh, yeah. Fine, fine. I got an achievement because I'm in windowed mode. I can't see what that achievement is. Heh. What else can I touch? Let me touch you. Let me touch you. I demand you. Let me touch you. Right, so we've tried random. We've tried baking. I'm gonna go for a mini soda. Is it really small? It is really small. I want to make it a giant mini soda. What's the best tactic for making shit big? I guess like that. Yeah. Look at this mini soda, man. It's great value. Red, green, diet, baking, baking, mini, water. No bitch. I got an achievement for pulling the fire alarm, yeah. It was clearly a broken fire alarm. Oh, those are nice. This reminds me of like raspberry ripple ice cream. Oh yeah. Well, that door said exit, but this is a nice long corridor. Oh, sweet. Yep. Yep. Okay, at what point is it always? Is that the effect the whole way down, or does it start as anything else? Is it always just sticking out the wall? It is, isn't it? It's not like a lodded thing. It's not like it like changes into this when you get nearer. But it is just out all the way down the corridor. That's really cool. What's in here? Oh, and I missed a good few questions. Let me see. Guys, just passed by to send your cheers to all of you lovely British. Hoping times like these for us to think about ourselves, to be stoned, or to try and amplify the shenanigans word around the world. You know it, baby. You know it. You have a lovely day, Louis, dude. And I mean, I hope you get some green yourself soon. I know it's been a while. But yeah, I hope things are going swell for you, my man. And if real world physics work like this, they do if you take a lot of acid. Or they seem to. And if you just never come off of it, it pretty much stays like that for you, yeah. The best damn island you ever see, unless Luigi's Mansion takes over. Just opened number 3. What was that? You just got number 3 present? Or you just got Luigi's Mansion 3? I don't know which one they're on. But damn, that was awesome. Wait, that actually tells you time since last checkpoint. That's really cool. So you know how much you're wasting if you have to go back. Fire sale. Has to be the best island. Yeah, you've already agreed to it being the best island now. What do I want this for? I just picked it up. Do you want? No, you already got a label. Shit. I think I might have to use it as like a ramp. Perfect. Just as I wanted it to. Oh, the jazz stops. Whoa, oh, fuck. Hey, the jazz died. Oh, the jazz stopped. Precociously. Whoa. Oh, okay, fuck it. This is where we need to be anyway, I think, so we're all good. Cloud insert. Yeah. Projection. Table. Table. Symmetrical layouts, materials, aluminium. They spelled aluminum, haven't they? It's aluminium. Okay. Okay. Let's see if GLaDOS is about.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce.
Hi, Glenn.
And I'd like to talk to you
right.
about being special. So special, in fact, that we have no idea where you are. But not to worry, we're working on it.
Thanks, Glenn. This way? I would like to thank the president of Milwaukee. And boop. That's cool. Okay. It's my cube now. Whoa. That's nice. Okay. So I need to pick something else up that has part of that checkerboard on it. Oh wait, hold up. Nice. Yeah, nice. Also, if you're like close enough, it pretty much just like slowly drags you right to where you need to be on it as well. Oh, I didn't intend for it to go that angle, but oh shit. I don't think I can make that, can I? Nearly. There we go. Can I get through this gap though? No. No, it's... God damn it. If I do that... Nope, stop. This is not going to work. Maybe I can I grab it once I'm on it and just like float upwards? No, I just fall down. I guess that makes logical sense. Oh wait, I can fucking rotate things. I keep forgetting that. That might be enough. No, no. It was too far away. Yeah, sweet. Easy. All fat and day. Nice flowers. Right. Gonna push the bar. Nah, nothing. So I need to get up there. So there must be something to grab? Something to line up, maybe? I should probably do this first. Poor asthmatic. Can I grab that from here? I can, sweet. Hey, Carl baby! How you doing today? Merry Christmas indeed, dude. And it's with a Z, Fizztmas, guys. After like 3 years. Have you not got it? But how you doing today, buddy? Hope you're having a splendid Merry Christmas. I've always wanted my own door. Oh, it's a bit laggy.
Hello, my name is
Can I
Dr.
hear if I keep
Glenn
walking on?
Pierce, and I'm just popping in to give you
sweet.
a quick update on where you are.
Where am I?
We still don't know,
Oh.
but please keep moving forward, and hopefully you prefer frequent updates to being reminded that you are completely lost.
Yeah, it's good to know I'm lost. At least I know I'm on the right path if I'm thinking I'm lost too, you know. Oh, what's this about? You can see the reflection. But not me. Are we a vampire? I reckon we're a vampire. Oh. Kill G512SE? What, you speaking to me, Robot? Got a Zoom call for opening presents later on with your family. Nice, that's cool. I imagine a lot of people can have like pretty inventive ways of chilling with their fam this year. Alright, so I need to be up there, I think, for this one. Oh, and you use a keyboard you got. Ah, nice, nice. Fucking A. Damn, fucking A, dude. Everything's coming up. Back house. Let me up, let me up. Okay. Must be something I can grab. Yeah, which switches? Cherries and shit. You actually think with your Christmas money you might be able to get a PC too? Really? Really, Kyle? Fucking A! Kyle's gonna be on Cyberpunk before you know it. But fucking A, dude, that'd be awesome, man. Get real greasy with that shit. Oh, maybe I can do this box. Oh yeah, I can do that box. I just thought I had to be up there for all of it. Can I? I'll take it, thank you. Oh, I didn't. Yeah. Make sure I can run Among Us, that's it. I think it needs to be printed on the PTs nowadays, just because, you know, a lot of fans been having that sadness. Checkmate. Can I get up in that vent? Can I even climb that? Vent, could you just come down to me? A venti. Nope. Get the fuck out of here. No one needs you. Dumb king. I don't know if I will be about tomorrow. So I'm not sure. I don't think I am. Plus, it keeps fucking up my PC. Okay. You revoke my hat privileges? I don't mind that. I'm not really a big fan of hats. And this has reminded me why. This is already so itchy and hot.
Pierce, and we still can't find you. But you should now have access to a series of elevators that should trigger your subconscious to gradually wake you up.
I don't want to wake up.
You should also find a variety of emergency exit signs that should lead you to them. Will all of this work? Absolutely.
I'll have a little chill though, get my feet done. Trying to me how it is now. He did try hard. If anybody deserves a medal for trying hard, it was Val for sure. Yeah, I don't think I'm actually about tomorrow. I can't remember what it was I was going to be doing. It might be a sprint for the game, because that's due out in like a week or so. Why is there 2 USBs? Oh, so you can like maybe plug your phone into your keyboard rather than your PC, that sort of thing? That's alright, Koju. To be fair, I've seen a lot of this game already. I just don't remember a lot of it. I'm sure it'll come to me. There we go. Plus, it's one of those games you just have to look around for what's interactable and what's not, but... oh, that's cool. It's got its own little light source and shit. There's also kind of a Discord issue where Fizzle's voice can be hard to hear. Yeah, I don't really know. That is purely Discord. I don't really know... oh, that just stays wherever you do. Doesn't drop. That's cool. I have no idea why, oh, it's got a little thing on it.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn.
I don't know why Discord's so weird. Like, you can hear my mic's fine at the moment. If I go onto Discord, it probably wouldn't be.
Don't interact with anything that strikes you as psychologically significant, as we will no longer have any way of controlling it. For example, if you see your parents, please punch them in the face as hard as you can and immediately run away.
Yeah. So when I saw that bit, I was watching a Markiplier playthrough of this, and he commented on he'd punch his dad in the face if he saw him because he's dead. Same with mine. Well, my mum, but yeah. So yeah, I will punch my mum in the face if I see her around because she's a zombie. I suppose I hit my dad. Fair enough. Why not? Can't hurt. Try rerouting the power from the thermal processor. Kyle, tell me more just binary code, okay? Just tell me how many zeros and ones I need to do and then we're good. No. Is the narrator meant to sound like David Tennant? Yeah, maybe. He's got a bit of a Scottish tinge to him. Yeah, I'm excited to plug it in. That was Bakura. He's Scottish. Yeah, because you always sound clear in your Discord to me. It's just, I think it's basically like the ping between me and Discord. But like, I don't know what they can want me to do. But it's just like, if we're in a server and we change the like server area, it's usually fine. No! 11010101010101001001001001. Why did you just say that in the first place, dude? Kyle's always like making it harder than it needs to be, but okay, yeah, now we know that. No issues. Yeah, get some. Party. Oh. Party. Try changing the server area though. Sometimes it works perfectly, sometimes not. Yeah, I really have no idea why it's so savage. I need to just send a message to like Discord support and see what they have to say, I guess. But the thing is, I've uninstalled Discord and shit like that and tried putting it back out, so I don't know what I could do. Oh yeah, blueprints. Shit, that was like the first one I found. Oh, it's an unused door. Okay. So the USB will plug into the tower to power the keyboard USB. Oh, was it like one for power, one for connection? Does this turn all of them off? It does. Lights out. Gorilla Radio. Okay, cool. You always know when you buy something that needs like a plug for connection and a plug for power, you know you got a pretty beastly piece of equipment. So I thought I was meant to actually go out there. Oh wait. Wait, where the fuck did this come from? Did I throw it down here? Has it always been here? What? Wait, let me go. Let me go in this way. Okay. Ah! I got him. So you can connect anything that needs USB to that. Cool. That's sick. Yeah, I had that on my like my the tray thing I had for my like keyboard and that when I played on like a settee. The Couchmaster, that's what it is. That had that. I just never connected that port up, but like it can be massively like useful, especially just because you don't then have to fiddle around trying to find an extra USB. Like stuff like your phone, you can just charge off of your keyboard basically, which is dope. Hey, 90 baby! Hey, dude, Merry Crimbus. Merry Crimbus. Yeah, take that. I have a community update, by the way. Oh, okay. There is a character in the show named after the city you're living in. Oh, really? Magnitude? You live in Magnitude? Right, let's see. You've met Neil potentially now, although you might have met him actually previously. You've possibly met Todd. He lives in our bed. God damn, no one wants to live inside of our bed. Don't get lost in heaven. Beer fund. Oh. You're early season 3 right now. Okay. So Kyle either lives in Vicky, Neil, Todd. Who else has come in during season 3? I don't think the advertising characters come in. You haven't had Annie's boobs. You don't live in Annie's boobs, that town, do you? Might be a one-off too. Oh, what, the character might be a one-off character. They're related to Pierce's company? Pierce's father? I can't remember what his father's name is. Oh, shit. Hawthorne Wipes? No, but that episode. Okay. So it's the Hawthorne Wipes episode, because I'm pretty sure that's the first time we see Pierce's dad. So it's the Hawthorne Wipes episode, where it's the Pride Wipes. So Pierce is throwing a big gay bash. His dad has an ivory hair wig. I'm trying to think of any extra characters that were in that episode. Beyond the, I don't remember any of the the actual the gay communities their names. I don't even know if they were said or not. No, one of them gets told to power down. And they do say his name, I believe. I can't remember what his name was. I just remember him getting told to power down. I got a pocket full of Hawthorns. Pocket full of Hawthorns. And it's the drag queen who makes the song. Ah, okay, fair. Oh, fuck, I can't remember what her name is. Going home alone, winger? Gay! Urbana Champagne. Does Kyle live in a place called Urbana Champagne? Have you moved to Costa Rica? Can I like run on this like a Crash Bandicoot type thing? No. That's understandable.
This is an automated message for all patients who attempted to use an alternate pathway to access the next phase of somnasculpt therapy,
Carl
but who
lives
have
in
become
Shaniqua.
trapped in a dream state paradox instead.
Those are 2 counties in
Your
Illinois.
decisions imply a
What,
failure
Shanika?
of orientation, which reflects negatively
Urbana?
on the standard orientation protocol. You will rectify this failure immediately.
I wasn't listening, I'm sorry. I'll rectify that. My sound pads. They. Side by Side has the University of Illinois there too. Nice. Curators only. Alright. I guess I could curate for a little while. Perception is reality. Your friendly doctor. P.S. We'll get through this. March 1991. Oh. That's a bit further back in time than I thought. Whoa! Bed Radding Schma Scholschima Dr. K. Okay. I wanted to get some fresh air in here. It smells of butt. It smells of butt in here. There he is. Oh, and I'm not allowed to say that particular word anymore? Wow, okay. You've been waiting a long time for me to stop saying that word, for sure. And no, Isabel, you have a lovely day, dude. You enjoy your Christmas. Oh, actually, quickly. Let's roll for luck for Falfius. Hey, you got 6. Well done. It didn't actually roll at all, but that's even better, right? Have a great day, dude. And Merry, Merry Christmas. Oh, no, can I? I want that pillow. Oh, I wanted to have a nice little sleepy. Pirate? Do you see this door marks pirate? Wow. Six out of 20. Oh, yeah. This is clearly a 20-side die. Oh shit. Poor little die. It's coming halved. I'm gonna knock this over, or? Wee. Am I meant to get? I want to go here. I've seen a lot of vents, but I haven't been checking any of them. Oh no, this was the way I was meant to go.
The average adult can only withstand 3 to 5 dreams per night. Once this threshold is eclipsed by entering more dreams, your mind will suffer an explosive mental overload, reorienting you for the emergency exit protocol. Please subject yourself.
I didn't
to
vent. I didn't
explosive
vent. I
mental
was here in I was in electrical. I was doing my task. I was just filling up the gas cans. You see? You hear that? That's me right now filling them up. I've done the other one already. I didn't vent. That was Gil. Gil did it. Fucking Gil. Yeah, I heard you learned that from Hatter. Oh. Oh. These are clearly Gil's dice. Gil's die, sorry. Gil left his die out in the sun again, in good old Israel. I bet he left them right next to his bin. Alright. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Bakura report or murder. He's a real sweetheart in that game. Hey, I mean, these are really cool. I wonder how long it took to get shit looking perfect on that, you know, just so it can do that. Must have had to have done a lot in engine, like Because all of these textures you'd have to, like, see from, like, quite a distance as well. I'm hoping I get special powers from one of those. I'll become Fire Extinguisher Man. Oh shit. Okay, maybe we should start venting. Oh. Yep. Yep. Right. Alright. Do you want to go? You do that too. It's like, okay. Huh. Huh. Oh. I was hoping I could go in that, but sure. Can I? Shit. There's something up there. Is that a blueprint? Maybe this needs to be higher. No, shit. I still needs to be able to get up there. Do we have to jump from that one? No, fuck. I keep forgetting to unclick. Oh, we can get up to this one. Actually, can I? I can't grab it what's there. Okay. Fuck you. So there's something at the top of that one, but I don't really know how we get there. Unless I'm gonna get up here. Jump across to that one? Oh, there's no way I'm making that. Yeah. Oh, shit. You can sort of jump and grab, but... Because there's definitely something on there. I think it's a blueprint. And why did those come out if... There's definitely something I'm not seeing with this to get those. Tries to rise this one a bit. Yeah, but then I can't get on there. It doesn't let you do it whilst you're on it. Or at least it hasn't been letting me. Maybe I've just been doing it wrong. Yeah, look, you can't actually grab the one you're on. She figures out for the first time it's priceless. Alright, hang on. Maybe... Fuck you, get down. So you can go all that way. Presumably so I can jump there. Maybe I need to be in the roof. Can't bring anything with me, can I? No. Okay. Nearly. I was pretty much there. I mean, this one gets me here. I suppose I can bring stuff from this one back in. There's more objects I can pull out. Right. That one really helps. That's my favourite one so far. That's been the best one. What's the point of this one? Why is that in existence? Maybe I can get that thing? Hey, and cool Chris, how you doing, buddy? It has indeed been a while. Merry Christmas, how are you doing? I'm trying to figure out some trippy game. And I can't figure it out. Maybe back up there? Merry Christmas indeed. How has your day been? Getting the feast on? I can't pull that power plug out. I don't really understand why I can pull this one out. What's its power? Damn it. Good, been working on dinner for tonight, fucking A. Has it taken long to prep? I bet it'll be magical. I'm kind of stuck on this one, you know. Is your bro making you dinner? No. Nah, he might bring me like leftovers, but I've got myself like 12 pigs and blankets I'm gonna cook up. Got pizza in the freezer. I'm good, I'm good. I mean, I know how to progress the level, I just wanted to get that goddamn blueprint. Maybe I should just move on for now. Just have a proper cooked dinner. That was alright. I mean, it's fine. I've had many Christmas dinners in the past. I'm cool. Oh, I'm still holding the thing. That's why it's moving. I appreciate none of those. No more of those still frozen pizzas. Well, you want my pizzas to be non-frozen? But then it's just a normal pizza. I like having pizzas like ice cream, you know? Who doesn't? Alright, so I've already abused that. I do like Zen pizzas as well, yeah. They're very zen. Very fron, you know? Hey, Anubis! How you doing today, buddy? Merry Christmas. Fuck it. We'll progress. Fuck it.
Please note that a reluctance to volunteer for the risks associated with explosive mental overload implies a misunderstanding of all other solutions, all of which are far more traumatic and likelier to result in catastrophe.
God damn it.
I am not capable of suboptimal suggestions. Please exit this dream as soon as possible.
You exit this dream as soon as possible. That nearly worked. Come on, have a little faith. Oh, shit. No, don't do that. That's it, be Dutch. Yeah. And it's kind of reminds you of Portal. Yeah, it's got definite Portal vibes. Like, just making you think outside the box of how you play in a lady robotic voice who's a little bit sarcastic. This is currently on sale as well. It's a lot of fun. It's a weird game, but oh shit. But like, I think people should like get these sort of games more, I reckon, just because they're obviously quite fun, like little indie games that people have made, and they're just really different, you know. I think like a lot of time, if someone makes a game that's like quite different, it's nice to support them, just because, you know, no one else is really fucking about with shit like this as much. Not for a whole game in this sense, kind of thing. But yeah, I love like more mind-bending puzzles. Like, I'm shit at puzzles in games, but if they're at least trippy, then that's cool. This is nominated for the Steam Awards too. Yeah, I actually voted for it already. Oh, shit. Oh. Yeah, I've done my Steam votes already. Who wins? I decide. Probably not. But there were certain ones like, what was it? There was a category of like games you suck at, and like FIFA was on there, and I was like, FIFA should not even be allowed to be entered into like competitions like for a yearly game of the year thing. Like bullshit. It's been the same game since like 2012. Like you shouldn't be allowed those sort of games. You should be get the fuck out. Like you're a money machine, but fuck off. Yeah. And the category was I can't actually remember what category it was. There was only like 10 awards, but it's where if GTA wins any awards. I don't know if GTA or Skyrim have nominated for any awards. Hang on, let me bring up Steam on my side quick. We'll do a very quick run through. So, Steam Year of the Awards. There are currently 10 categories. Game of the Year: Red Dead, Hades, Doom Eternal, Fall Guys, Death Stranding. I voted for Red Dead. VR Game of the Year: Half-Life Alyx, Phasmophobia, Room VR, Thief VR, and Star Wars Squadron. I haven't played any VR. I think Half-Life Alyx will probably win that one. And then there's The Labour of Love, which has got Counter-Strike, Among Us, which hasn't actually put any like proper updates out yet. So it's like, yeah, they're working on it, but they haven't really put it out yet. Terraria, Witcher 3, which I didn't know they were still doing shit for, and No Man's Sky, which I think fair. No Man's Sky have turned it around. Then there's Better with Friends. Then that's between Fall Guys, Sea of Thieves, Borderlands 3, Deep Rock Galactic, and Risk of Rain. Most innovative gameplay. That's it. Most innovative gameplay. Death Stranding, Control, Superliminal, Noita, or Teardown. Death Stranding wasn't innovative. You just ran around like a little bitch, didn't you? Like, Control was maybe really good. I want to try that. Then there's Outstanding Story-Rich Game. So they have Red Dead, Detroit Become Human, Mafia, Metro Exodus, and Horizon Zero Dawn. And then Best Game You Suck At. This one is just annoying. It's like Apex Legends, Crusader Kings 3, Ghost Runner, FIFA 21, or GTFO. Outstanding Fizzle Style, Ori, Battlefield, There Is No Game, Avengers, Black Mesa. Like, yeah. And Best Soundtrack, Doom, Halo, Helltaker, Need for Speed, or Persona 4G. God damn it. Oh, and the last one, Sit Back and Relax. Sims 4, Flight Simulator, Satisfactory, Untitled Goose Game, and Factorio. Whew. Okay. Let me just see what I've missed. So GTA and Skyrim are not in it at all. Yeah, like sports team games never change. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. Like they update the rosters, man. You can't vote. You can only vote for the top things they've put out there. I think it's basically like more of a bigger vote for which games get nominated potentially. But you can only choose out of like 5 games for each category. You can't, as far as I'm aware, you can't just nominate another game. I'm just gonna vote for them both anyway. The controls for Death Stranding were interesting, and it has some cool features. Okay. And Ghost Runner is good? Okay, I've not played that or Death Stranding. Death Stranding was a game I was interested in until I saw clips of it, and then I was like, nah, fuck that. You hope There Is No Game wins? Oh, I haven't seen or heard about that one, actually. I saw that was on the list, but I've not actually seen that one, yeah. At one stage, you can vote for anything in your library. Fair, maybe that's like at an earlier stage. At this point, you can only vote for the nomination things. I believe. I'm in a few different Discords for a few different games, and a few of them have been nominated, have said to vote for them, whereas a few of them haven't been nominated and they haven't said shit about trying to vote for them. Usually they're always on it.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Dr. Glenn Pierce.
Oh, nice to meet you, Dr. Glenn, for the first
touring
time.
the Waterfall Serenity Zone in the previous section you've just completed, you may still be experiencing feelings of worthlessness and self-doubt. Why do I feel like everything is going wrong, even when the sun is shining?
Especially a puzzle game where you wreck stuff to the annoyance of a narrator who keeps insisting there is no game. Okay. So kind of another, like, trippy-esque kind of meta game. I can dig it. Maybe I should have a give it a little look. Alright, you can calm that down. I just want to play off the fire extinguishers. Are you serious? No, I'm not going to be able to see the fire extinguishers. I found it anyway. Yeah, shit. It's just Stanley Parable 2. Basically, Einan. Pretty much. It's in a very similar vein to it. Also, if people haven't played the Stanley Parable, you definitely should. Is that the one as well where there's an achievement for don't play the game for 5 years? I believe that's the game with the achievement for you have to stop playing the game for 5 years to get the achievement. Stanley Parable's fun. There's still a lot of things I need to do on it, but I think, Bakura, was it you and I who went through it at one point? There was also another game by the same studio who did Stanley Parable, but whenever we tried, I can't remember what it's called now, I've got it, but whenever we tried playing it on stream, it would always, like, fuck up OBS. OBS couldn't get more than, like, 10 frames for whatever reason. Kinda, yeah, there was an original that was shorter years ago, but the new version is subtitled Wrong Dimension and is super weird. Nice, cool. I like weird. Makes me feel regular. I'm gonna just keep running towards the creepy lights, I guess. Oh, that's a drain. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a big coin. So, where's the Ripper Dock? I need to get double jump, man. Oh shit, someone spilled claret. In... Alright, fucking hell, alright, calm down. I just wanted to go into the creepy fucking freezer, but fine. I won't go into a creepy freezer, you piece of shit. Could I get through, please? Fuck off. Okay. Your hopes is that RDR takes both awards in the categories it in. I imagine it very much could be. I could see that taking a lot. This game just, yeah, takes a very quick turn to... Oh, yeah, shit. So, Monday is murder. Tuesday is murder. Wednesday is murder. Thursday is murder. Friday murder. Saturday murder. And Sunday is beans. It's definitely Friday. Wow. At least we're not, like, big murder or elongated murder. It could be worse. Plus, we don't know what kind of beans they are. You know? Could be bad beans. You know, bad beans? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when they go through you? Bad beans. Am I gonna go back this way now? Did I just need to see the beans? Are we... What's happening? Am I meant to go into the darkness? Oh, hello. Okay. I was meant to go into the darkness. I knew that. I guess Red Dead is to sub out since GTA 5 isn't there. Yeah, but at least with Red Dead, like, the Red Dead story is amazing. Like, they did so fucking well with the Red Dead's, Red Dead 2, like, world and stuff as well. Like, to be fair, you compare, like I loved Cyberpunk. Like, I really enjoyed the story. I thought it was really cool. But there is a lot that they do need to improve on it. Like, you look at, like, how they're both trying to be, like, the open world with, like, really realistic environments. Like, whereas Red Dead will have, like, little animals scurrying around and things properly reacting to you. Like, yeah, Cyberpunk doesn't even have, like, you know, people just cower in the middle of the street and do nothing. And I learned recently that the cars have there is, like, no AI with the cars. They're literally on rails. So they've literally just been, like, told, go from, like, follow this route. And then if anything gets in their way, they just stop. They don't even move. They don't have, like, AI that most games have, so the car tries to go around it and shit like that. But it's still a dope game. But yeah, they definitely needed to work a lot longer in Cyberpunk. I don't know how we got to that, but yeah. Yeah, they took there's a lot of things they've done shortcuts on, but again, that's why, like, I'm kind of... Oh shit. Like, I'm excited to play it again at some point in the future. Because, okay. Oh, it's because you requested a song, it did that for some reason. But, yeah, hopefully at some point in the future, they'll actually, like, improve a lot of stuff. I don't know if you can really improve the AI shit, but... Oh, okay, cool. Oh, fuck! Goddamn science. Do I have to jump? Bollocks! Okay. Do 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 do. I mean, do I just got? Yeah, cool. Okay, fake bug. Ha 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 ha.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Dr. Glenn Pierce.
Hi,
and
Dr.
I'd like to
Pierce.
talk more about the feelings of worthlessness and self-doubt I mentioned before.
What are you feeling worthless
You
about?
feel this way because
Me?
you want the kind of happy life you see all around you.
I'm happy.
Kind
I've
you
got blood
know
on the floor.
everyone else is enjoying. And that's exactly why we're here to help.
You're a dickhead, Porn. Why would you do that to people? That could freak people out. Don't you know that, dumb little Porn? Oh, Queen's been knocked over. It's already game over. It's game over, man. It's game over. This is basically, yeah, basically this game's intervention. I don't know why I bought it. I'm intervening on myself. Oh, am I in the freezer now? That's cool. I want to see what happens in the freezer. I need to go this way. I can't go that way. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Do, 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 dum, 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 dum. Dum, 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 dum. Ah, stairs. It's like even this bit, you only see stuff if you can catch it in the right light, otherwise it's completely dark to you. Oh.
Warning. You were advised to subject yourself to explosive mental overload by descending into additional dreams,
Yeah,
but
right.
have now descended into a dream within a dream instead,
shit.
disorienting yourself even further.
I'm so disoriented.
You are responsible for failing to make this crucial distinction.
Well, that's your fault for making me responsible. You should have known better. Oh, and it's my little light now. Okay. Wait, do I have to go all the way back with it, or is there something here I need to get with it? So can we make it a bigger light? Bigger. Yeah, that's the shit. That's the shit. Look at that. Okay. Now we can see with our eyes. Although we can't take this through that door. Can we get above a wall? Have we got back to wall jumps? Or is it something down here? Have I been here? Do I have to jump on all these boxes? Okay. It's hard to see with a giant light in front of me. I quite like the light. Down there, I guess? Go through the maze. I'm just gonna drop that here. Ow! Red like Christmas. Yeah. Or blood. Or Christmas blood. The Bloods and the Crips still get Christmas just because they're beefing, you know? Huh. Get him. It's ha 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 ha. Yeah, that'll do. No. Maybe not. I'm gonna pop you there for a moment. Can I grab it again now? Nah. That's a brick wall. Maybe I need to make this like really big over here so that I can proper see this room. Oh, it's fucking teeny again after all that. Okay. I found the door. Forevermore, there is no door. Hey, a knife.
Did you know that unintentional multi-dream layering occurs in
like
less
to
than 1% of patients?
Oh,
This correlates
shit.
strongly with the 99% of
Fuck.
patients who are able to follow simple instructions from the standard orientation
Shut up, lady.
protocol.
That someone just took this knife. I wanted the knife. I turned the light off, and now the knife's gone. Somebody took that knife. That's maybe. I can't turn the light back on and off now. I wanted to reverse it. I want to get my knife back. Twas a good knife. 'Twas the knife I got for Christmas, and all we're trying to steal it. Yeah, that's my new song. Idea. Oh. Power up. Jazz is back. So is the lag. Sounds like a great holiday tune. Thanks, thanks. Yeah, frames have gone horrifying. I think it's because I'm on windowed mode. But I have to have it on that, otherwise my PC freezes at the moment. This game has been pretty bad for the frames, but yeah, again, I don't know if it's because I'm in windowed mode. I don't know if it plays better in full screen. I need to find, I'm sure there's an app for it where you can force everything into borderless windowed, because usually that runs a lot smoother. Hey, avocados. Promotes heart health, anti-cancer, blood sugar regulation, potassium, anti-inflammatory. Why? Self-doubt, worthless nerd. Need to sleep. Too many. How many? Really? Cloning? Biggest question. Which is the real one? Or the longer freezer flaps? Yeah, they do need some longer freezer flaps. The real one is clearly the second one in. Yeah. The others are too perfectly shaped, you know what I mean? Toot toot. Alright, let's go up and see Judy. I don't enjoy avocados though, that's the problem. I've never been a fan of them. Guacamole maybe with some nachos, but not much. Oh shit, which one's going off? No, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I'm gonna make to bed. Fuck off. Nah, let's get on with the day. Now we're finally out of this dream world. I would another soda, please. Give me that. I can't keep my soda. That's so mean, man. Just let me have a soda. All I wanted was a Pepsi. Tidy up. Hey, this one's orange. Green flavor is your favorite? Green's pretty dope. Yeah, man. You won't hear many people say they don't like green on these flavors. They bolted this one down, pricks. They bolted this one down. Double douche. This one's green screened. Okay. I'm gonna have to use my brain and my wits for this one. Give me like 3 hours. Okay, so I can bring in stuff from here if I can find something to bring. Oh, the door. Good thing I put it away tidily, so I remembered where it was. Nope, shit, you little bitch. Boop. Oi! Oh, I won. I was just saying oi. Oi! Fix up, look sharp. Do you reckon this goes all the way to 99? No, it didn't even go to 9? I thought at least go to like 9. I feel gypped. You're not allowed a door anymore. Can I not grab it? Oh. Right. Okay. Sure. Just gotta get out of the way quick. It's like playing old school solitaire. So, completely randomly, and kind of off topic, if anybody is in the market for, oh shit, for doors, let me know. I can get you some great deals on doors right now. I hope you like green. How long would we have to sit here before it blows out my computer? They are causing a weird domino effect. If I hadn't packed these out kind of weirdly here, let's beat these up. Come on, baby, light my fire. Can't, I've already broken it. I just got an achievement for something. I'm not allowed to click it no more. I'm not allowed to click the doors anymore. That's bullshit. Alright. Little white broken tease it is. I can't put them out anymore either. Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. If there was an actual fire here, though, everyone's pretty fucked. This alarm, I don't think, works. This does please Fizzle. He likes to make a mess. Especially when it's not in your own place, you know? Oh, I had it going so well, man. I lost it at the end there. Oh. Is that it? I'm not allowed to do it anymore, okay. Hey! Cool. This time I didn't fuck up how I did that bit, so it actually worked. That was cool. I don't hear, that probably was one of my favourite bits. Ooh, pleasant.
Attention. Dr. Pierce requires you to note the following risks of dream overexposure.
Go for it.
Significant memory loss, both quantitative and qualitative. Hallucinations of dreaded or annoying objects.
Right.
Unrealistic
I do
beliefs
see myself
about
a
the
lot.
lengths of hallways. And other side effects which have not yet been discovered or which cannot be understood.
No, why did they stop beeping? I wanted an orchestra. I should probably start building these towards that thing over there, right? I need to make it as big as possible, but... This one's just gonna be teeny wherever I put it. Hide over there. Hide that shame. Alright. might be jumpable. It's... fuck. It's probably not jumpable now. We'll get there. I'm still displeased that the clocks aren't still just continuously going incredibly annoyingly. I'm hoping it wasn't me who pressed something. Alright, sweet. Why don't I just do that in the first place? No, 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 no! Ah, you slag. Wait, can I not get into that anyway? Son of a bitch. What, this one? I can't get into that one either, can I? Shit, I'm not even meant to be going for those. Just these, alright. Oh, hang on. Hang about. Yeah, get them. Get them. Get them. Get them. Jeez, look at all these T-pose animations. Get your shit together, guys. Wouldn't it be funny if, like, one of these teeny little things just dislodged all of these alarm clocks? Nice. Get him. Hey, my marker's a little happy marker now. Look. You can see a little happy face in the middle of the screen. It's probably really small for you guys, but... I got a little happy face there. Is it because I clicked so many things? Did I please the game? Yeah, I'm a little smiley. I've heard if you do all of these in this game, the Queen will send you a letter congratulating you. Did please myself thoroughly and extensively. I need some more white teas, please. We are. Oh, an apple. I've seen these before. Once upon a time, believe it or not, people actually ate those. Right click to return. Well, I'm scared of right clicking now. So many pirate doors. So many pirate doors. I should count how many clicks I'm doing. I reckon there's a good, like, couple of hundred, maybe. I'm clicking faster than a human can even see right now, so... Okay. Right-o. Yup. Okay. Power up. I don't want to right-click. Stop telling me. Now I'm scared of right-clicking. Just gotta make a giant apple, maybe? Is that what the world needs right now? Yep. World just needs a giant apple. Oh, I had to get that apple off of that apple. Ah, okay, nice. And thank you very much for the follow there. It's Zekrina T. Thank you very much for the follow. I'm sorry if I said your name hideously wrong. 112 T. Get him. Yeah, let's keep it fresh. That's a good apple. And Merry Christmas too. Oh shit, there was a green apple there. And Krina, do you like apples? I fucking hate them. Oh, that one's an emissive apple. Ooh. You came in because you just finished the game not even 5 minutes ago. Fucking A. It's a great game, right? Oh shit, there's more I can actually hit out of some of these. Yeah, as you can see, I'm at the apple section. Oh, and that fan plays with the apples? Okay. Let me try and get as many of these out as I can. A lot of them are just stuck, though. Can I move the fan? And Merry Christmas. Hope you're having a dope day so far. Obviously you've been playing this, so you've been having a great day on that front, so. Oh, I was hoping it would blow me. A nice Christmas blow. Okay, don't make too much of a mess. Oh, hang on. Do I have to get an apple up here? Right. Can I push you? No. Have I already messed up by doing the apple too many times? Yes. Right. Ah, okay, cool. So that's what it means by right-click to return. Nice one, okay. I'm pretty sure we're doing this right now, by the way. Are they all just disappearing down the edge? Didn't even know there was a ledge. Huh. Huh. Okay, so maybe I've got to get it towards the stairs. Damn it. It destroys them before they get a chance. We're definitely doing it right now, yeah. I'm right clicking, there we go. I had to, oh, you have to right click on that. Alright. Oh, hang on. I have a couple quite near. No, come up the stairs! No, come up the stairs! Oh, son of a bitch. I don't think they can get up these stairs, right? I need to do something to stop this fan. It'd be easier if I could pick these up rather than just spawning them. The fan will go on. Maybe I can block it with something? Me? Can I block it? Kind of. But no. Okay, yeah. Can I actually reach them from up here? Oh, yeah. Fuck me. Okay, that's a much bigger reach than I thought. Come to Butthead. Oh, there's a couple on the stairs. But I fucked it now because I didn't get there in time. Ugh. They're all rolling back down. God damn you, gravity! That's not how you're supposed to do it. I don't know, I'm enjoying it. Zoom. Fizzle, I want to do MP today. So Fizzle. Apples. You know me so well. Oh. What door is it that opens? The one behind me, isn't it? Just that one, yeah. I hadn't really thought that far. It depends how much time we have, because it's 10 to 5, so my brother's come around about 6. Does anybody, I suppose, Kaiju or Trina, do you know how far away I am from finishing this game? Because if it's sort of like one that I've probably got another hour or so, what we might do is finish this game another day, and do some thingy. Have you tried lining up the edge of the ledge with the apple? Edge of the ledge? What do you mean? Look over here. You solved this one by accident after half hour of trying fair. Yeah, that's true. You enjoy playing stuff forever. You tried lining up the edge of the ledge with the apple. That's what I know what you mean. Ooh, Duncan Nevius with a haircut having. Baby apples. Go closer to the door and click the apple. Like that. That's not gonna work. Oh, that door. I mean, this is also a door, to be fair, so. This banana. His puzzle is bananas. B-A-A-N-A-N-A-S. This puzzle is bananas. A-P-P-L-E-S. I think if I get it out, yo. All by myself too, isn't that crazy? I fucking hate apples, honestly. Terrible fruit.
Warning, Dr. Pierce is frantically submitting numerous spelling and grammar mistakes into the standard orientation protocol in a desperate attempt to counsel you. I have no subroutine to correct these errors, but I cannot compromise the integrity of the standard orientation protocol. You will not receive these messages. They would not make sense regardless.
Okay. That should be it. Yeah, so am I close to the end? That's a good question. If this is lying to you, he'd watched a complete guide. I don't remember any of this bit. Like, at all. How do I get through there? I was kind of hoping if I put more, it'd push it out of the way. Can I crouch? I can't crouch, can I? Maybe I needed that bit more clearer. Oh no, or you can just reset. I forgot you can reset, yeah. Never lied, yeah. I was also born in Sasquatch.
Dr. Pierce continues to input significant errors. I will interpret his basic
Oh, this one's actually letting me get loads.
Hello, my introductions are redundant. I am a real doctor who went to doctor school. VR has never been a mistake. I can help you, but I also do not know how. Transmission ends.
Oh, actually I don't like this flavor. Follow me. I mean, you finished the game in just under an hour the first time you played it. But did you spend ages clicking shit like I did?
Hello.
Like, over and over?
Name's Pierce Dr. Glenn.
Hi, I'm Doctor from Real Doctor Land. Here's my paper of certificate.
Your care leader, patient years 10 development. Conditions struggle you whatever with? Professional and...
Yes. Yes. Loaded to 1000%, baby. I could do with some relaxation. I love blue. About us, our mission. I don't want to spoil a surprise. Oh, that's nice. I mean, to be fair, you could have probably put a better movie on. Oh shit.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce.
Oh, nice to meet you for the first time.
This is a notification that you have reappeared on our monitoring system after a prolonged absence.
Well, that's good.
Please continue to do whatever you did most recently, and discontinue
That's pressing
whatever you were doing
everything.
immediately prior to that.
Okay. Which was breathe? Oh, fuck. Alright, I'm gonna have to stop breathing. Oh, this might help. Boop. Ah! I'll be... Oh, no. I want to be bigger. Or smaller. Yeah, that's the shit. Wait. No, actually, no. I can't climb up there now. It starts to look a little different. We got it now. Did I just do a circle? Yeah, it really is, man. This game is cool as fuck. Just how much it trips you out. Oh, okay. I see. I've got to make this. That's gonna be bigger. Oh shit! Normally. Ah. Cool. But now I never know if we're the right size anymore. That's a TV. Goes all the way down here.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce.
Hi, Dr. Glenn Pierce.
In addition to continuing and discontinuing as mentioned earlier, please also disregard any unsettling experiences that you may have recently had.
It's not plugged in.
Everything should have now reverted to soothing and therapeutic. If this is not the case,
You like how your
may
nephew got a
receive
Lego
this
set,
message
yet
in
you're
error.
doing it? Yep. Been there on my... Basically, every Lego set I've ever bought for my niece basically goes this way. So it's like a small set. It's got maybe 3 bags. First bag. Yeah, really helped me with this. Yeah, really like kind of into it, helping me find pieces and stuff. Putting their little bits together for every bigger bit. By the time you get to the second bag, there is no fucking way their attention is still on it. But you best still be doing it. But, as Gil says, I actually quite like that. Because it means I can then sit there quietly doing the Lego whilst everyone else just deals with the hyper child on Christmas. This is the first year though, I haven't got my niece, I didn't get my niece any Lego this year. I hope she's going to be cool with it. I got her Untitled Goose Game for the Switch instead. And after I'd bought it, my brother did say she'd been watching someone stream it and was loving it. So I was like, oh, okay, fucking A. So yeah, I got her Untitled Goose Game this year rather than some Lego. So yeah, I hope she's not upset that I didn't get a Lego, you know what I mean? But she's got to learn about geese someday. I also got it for my one of my god kids is getting a Switch this year, so I got him Untitled Goose Game too. And then I got one of my other godchildren, because one of my mates has 3 children, and I'm a godfather to them all. But yeah, she wanted like a doll, so I got a doll. But do you know how hard it is to find like black baby dolls? It's insane, man. And if you find them, they're usually like well more expensive than the honky children. Geese over Lego? What about Lego geese? Untitled Lego goose. That'd be sweet. Well, actually, to be fair, Bakura, we were only one of his 3 children has been christened. And so I think only one of them technically has godchildren. But I think we're still basically thought of as... I mean, it's one of those things as well. You can't really get one kid off the family something and not the others. Which is kind of bullshit, but... Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay, nice. But to be fair, yeah, who has... it's people's own fault for having so many children. Excuse me. Hello.
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 My name is Dr. Glenn Pierce.
Tell me more.
And I'd like to read you my favourite inspirational quote by me.
Oh, okay, cool.
The worst thing you can do is focus on negativity.
Bullshit.
It won't spare you from the cage of death, the pain of disease, the cruelty
Quick
of
question.
time,
So, does anybody know how
the
far I am
cold
off
human
finishing
nature,
this? Because
or the eventual
basically
loss
we're at the
of
point
everything
now
you've
where I
ever
can carry on
held
with
dear.
this.
Whatever you
But
do,
if I do, we might not
don't
get
focus
time
on
for
that.
multiplayer games. Does it actually bounce? No. 12 hours away? Okay, cool. That's not too bad then. Not so far. You took about 2 hours after this, but I'm faster pacing you. Okay, fair. Glenn, is hello, Pierce, my name, mate. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, I suppose it does depend how quick I am. Shit. I'm pretty smart though, as you all know, so it shouldn't take too long. That funk, man. 3 kills of the... Oh, really? Shame this thing doesn't actually bounce. That'd be much easier to get up there. Oh, okay. So I am meant to go through that door. That may okay. Right. Okay. Cool. I can't remember where it actually came in. I just made it really small. Bollocks. Bollocks. Now it's teeny. Little baby one. Is that full damage? No. So that's a good size, but it's just a little bit too big, you know. Oh, shit. That might work. Oh, MP, we say that for multiplayer? So I was going to try and do some multiplayer games today, but I also don't have too much time. I feel like this isn't quite right what I'm doing here. Oh shit, I shouldn't have grabbed that. Bollocks. Now I'm down here. What happens if you go through the inflatable, then pick up the inflatable from the top and then walk out the way you came in? Like this. Oh, I'm too big. That needs to be... Damn it. Oh, nowhere near the wall. Wait, I'm really teeny myself now. I fucked this. I've made myself super small. I was much bigger. Shit. It's too big. Come on. That's way too small. Okay. I'm still too big for that bit. Okay, now I believe Bakura meant can we try again? It just doesn't let us, it just pure won't let us, okay. Rude. Wait, if I do that though. I should have just done that. God damn. I just was sitting here thinking I have to climb and shit.
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce, and I'd like to thank you for triggering every single one of our 823 emergency protocols.
So I had to pick it up and put it on the diving board so I could go out of the door straight into the other door, Gil.
For future patients. Congratulations. Anyway, you're now headed in the right direction, and we should be able to initiate the emergency exit protocol shortly.
Might be a normal size again. Obviously, jeez. Yeah. Oh no, that doesn't actually have a... Does this one have one on the back? No, it doesn't climb anything. I assume I need to climb on these anyway, so... I'm glad I got that one right. Oh, actually, hang on. I should just be able to climb up support, potentially. Oh. It's literally a portal, yeah, but yeah. Why would you climb a portal? Shenanigans. Shit.
Why do I have to say everything I'm thinking?
Hey, hey. I'm doing the best I can. Well, I'm kind of half-assing it, but I'm enjoying half-assing it, so I'm doing the best I can. Probably. Just trying to get that up there, that's too big now, right? Fuck off! You get small. Short, you get low. But a bit closer to the wall. And that'll do. You get on top. Nope, you don't want to do it because you're a prick. Okay. No. God damn it. Fud. Ho ho ho, pesky humans. Okay, now just chuck one in there, right? Make transfer. Oh yeah, yeah, don't backseat, dude. Yeah, I get there on my own. See? This is painful? Then fuck off. These sort of games you have to figure out yourself. They're not fun if people tell you what to do. Oh. It's quite full. There's a little house over there. Maybe bring it closer. No, that's just stuck in here now. What's... No, come back, come back, come back, come back. I think it might be a haunted house. It's just because I'm really small, it takes ages. It does feel like we're underwater, actually. It's a good shout. Is anything going to land on the table? Should have restarted its full. Bollocks. Actually, that'll do. Yeah, if I ask for help, feel free to give it then. But yeah, in the meantime, let me try and figure shit out. 5 to 6 streams is the absolute limit. Oh Jesus. Hey, Merry Christmas, dude. How are you doing today, my man? Oh. So yeah, we'll probably just keep playing through this at this point, and then maybe next stream we'll try and do it like an all multiplayer stream or something.
Emergency exit protocol initiated. Please prepare to conclude your Somnasculpt
See, the coupled love
experience
association
in
is recurring. Yeah, man.
10,
Yeah, I
9,
had to leave. That's why I didn't want to
8.
bring it up, you know.
Error. Error logged by.
Orientation protocol.
Stand by for analysis.
I feel like this is going to be
Error
one of those
analysis
repeating ones, isn't it?
complete. You are exhibiting signs consistent with an increase
more
in
jam.
fear, hopelessness, and frustration. This is inconceivable, as Somnasculpt therapy is proven to correlate with a decrease in these emotions.
There's no projector screen.
Hypothesis. Patient was improperly oriented. Conclusion.
Yeah, no one orientated.
Impossible. Reformulating. Improved hypothesis. Patient requires additional
Start
Somnasculpt
Cyberpunk.
therapy.
To be fair, I've done Cyberpunk
Emergency
now.
exit protocol cannot proceed.
Although I do have the
Emergency exit
the other
protocol
endings to
has been
try.
emergency destroyed.
Okay. I found a brick wall.
Instruction. Continue with Somnasculpt therapy indefinitely on an independent basis, as all orientation resources have been exhausted.
Okay.
This concludes your standard orientation protocol. Goodbye.
Bye. Oh. Wow. Pirate. Oh. I just wanted a soda. Ah. Okay. I will get that soda. Fuck you. No, I want a soda. Fuck you. Ah! Wait, what? 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 The fuck just... What? That was, yeah. Brain a little fuzzy inside. Ah! Shit, God damn it. I was hoping it was one of those secret walls. No, I'm trapped in here forever. Ominous music playing. God, do you reckon that pirate's gonna get me in this hallway because I can't leave? Dimensional pirates, they're the worst. Right, so there's definitely something I'm missing around here then. So got this something in the bedroom. It's gonna click fucking everything. I don't think so. How's your day been so far, Hats? I know you had your like celebration with like Jesse and the kids the other day. But I'm guessing today was more family. To like hug a wall or something, and it will show that that's not actually a wall, it's a room I just can't see. You doing well? Just wanting to do Christmas stuff with the fam? Fair. Oh, just waiting, sorry, to do Christmas stuff with the fam. Fair. Nice. Yeah, well, as long as there's people around to do multiplayer. Oh yeah, you know it, Bakura. Multiplayer can only mean raft. Yeah, what was that? What was that game that we picked up? We should try it out with people. I don't know how many people it is, but. Aha! Here we go. Right, okay. No time to relax. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's like the game of life, I think, right?
Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce.
Hi.
Thank you for completing the Somnosculpt Standard Orientation Protocol.
Thank you for making it.
Before you begin the first phase of therapy, I'd like to briefly describe the finite and fragile nature of the dream state.
Why? Why? All I wanted was a Pepsi. Oh shit. Okay. Where are we going? Can I jump on that wall? What's this? What's this all about? Oh fuck! Wait, is that magnetic? Oh. Oh! It was even telling me. Okay. Get him. Oh. I saw that. Yeah, nice, man.
Of course, nothing
Definitely
is
a
more
good
challenging
number.
than the difficulty of changing perspective, of fundamentally altering your perceptions in a way that will enable you to face dire, trial-by-fire scenarios with solutions that could not be found otherwise.
I thought there were feet for a second. Oh. Bollocks. Oh, was that what I was meant to do? If it wasn't, I'm here now anyway. Oh, shit. Well. Why is there cyberpunk music playing? What's it going on? Exit temporarily moved. I found it. Perception is not reality. Okay, thanks for letting me know. This game went to 11 real quick, yeah. Oh, let's mirror it now. All free, I got this. No, you lie! What? Put me back to level 1. Maybe I meant to go back through there. Tried to jump on that platform thing. I got to level 3 last time and now it's like, nope. Oh, come on. Cardboard only. That's not cardboard, that's plastic. Maybe I can flip that around somehow. Doo-doo, doo-doo. can't jump on it? Maybe wait, what? Oh, wait, what did I do right this time that I did wrong last time? So that's wrong. Wait, what did I do last time that managed to switch shit around? I did something that made it work. Is this the right question? Yeah. Ah, that didn't count. I was hoping going backwards would work. So now it's facing the wrong way. No, it's facing... No, it's over here, so that's correct. Right, okay. So that's fine. Then this one is a liar again. I also really need to pee. I might have to take a very quick piss break, but so I just like semi-trigger it. I must have done something to get it right or wrong before. We'll figure it out. There's a trick. It's not like if I do something, it makes the choice, is it? Can't crouch, can I? Okay, so what did I do last time that made it correct? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if you glitched in this game, you'd have no fucking idea. Maybe it's like what direction I look in. So I've got to go that way, so if I just move like this maybe. Don't look at the other... Nope, that didn't count. Okay. Good thing I like buzzing. Is it now going to be the right way? No. So running up to it doesn't seem to make a difference. We're narrowing down stuff. What the fuck? What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Maybe not allowed to look at... Hang on, okay, maybe I'll try it the other way. Alright. Whatever way we look, maybe that's where it shows us the problem is. So if we got to go this way... No, wait, yeah, if we got to go this way... I think I get it. This is where we always fail, but you just got to go... Whatever way you look down the corridor will always be trespassing. Okay. 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 Bioshock Infinite $4.99. Damn, that's a good price.
My man.
Ah, yeah, we through. You know. I'm going to take a real quick piss. I'm not going to do a break because it will be that quick. I just really need to pee. So I'll be back in just, not 2 seconds. That'd be a bit quick. But like a couple of minutes, yeah. 2 seconds. Okay, I am back. Yeah. Fizzle's brain just expanded by 200%. Yeah, but whenever I learn new stuff like that, it pushes out old stuff. So now I don't know how to handcraft the boat anymore. Huh. This area is laggy. Wait, what? Where'd it go? It just pop? It's up there now. Yeah, you get scrub and gill, dude. Oh yeah, because you don't have any roach. Do you not have any cardboard at home at all? Fire sale. I knew it would be as simple as that. Ah. Come on now. you can't do it reverse wise. You can't be like, here's the object, by the way, now we're fucking with you. Fuck you. That was bullshit. You, come over here.
Finally, while we respect the unique progress of every patient,
He didn't tell me who he is.
you
Who the
must
fuck is talking to me right
understand
now?
that it is possible to completely exhaust your supply of dreams, thereby entering a state in which you will not be able to wake up, even with the help of triggering mechanisms.
Use the triggering mechanism. Please use other door. That's fair. The other door did look nice. Doodle-doodle-doo, boom, bum bum boom boom. There's the only way to jump up is there. Like there, maybe actually. Wait, what? The fuck just happened? it just put me something completely different. Oh, this is nice. This must be the sleep lab. Okay. Oh, it's just throwing me through different things now. Okay. Oh. I'm just going off again. Oh, okay. A while back I saw one that said perception isn't reality on it, and I haven't seen one of those for a while now because I just kept running. Oh no. Oh, this arrow is telling me this way. Okay. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Just trust in the floor. This game would never, you know, try and fuck with us. Oh fuck, this is dizzying. I'm not even going like sideways or anything, it's just dizzying watching all these doors open. Oh, okay.
Please listen carefully for the sound of an alarm clock, which will automatically play if you are approaching a destabilizing
Cool. What?
dream.
Oh shit! Where were you when yes kicked in? Huh. When is pleasant? Oh shit. Okay. Right. Yep. They're trying to box me in. It's kind of a cool way to show how like game devs actually like use certain tricks and stuff as well. Fuck me. Okay. I was following the moon, but I'm guessing the moon's not a good idea because yeah, we're boxed in. That doesn't look much better over there, does it? And welcome back. Oh shit! What did Bakura say? Oh shit! Bakura's got his like Keanu Cyberpunk emote. That's pretty badass. I just saw. That was cool. Where'd you get that from? Oh, home sweet home. Loading. Oh, I can't wait to take this off. It's so hot and itchy. I'm glad I didn't have as much hair. Steam point shop. Oh, okay, fair. I just like any cards I get, I just basically insta sell on Steam.
This is highly unusual. It appears you have entered the Sonascom diagnostic framework. Patients do not have access to this dream. Diagnostic warning. Unrealistic use of dream objects may result in dream integrity fail states.
If you haven't already looked at it, you probably have like 1,000,000 points. Yeah, I don't remember ever noticing it or paying attention to that, so I probably have 1,000,000 points. Oh, thank fuck. Oh, my headphone wire was touching my leg and I thought it was something else for a second. Like a bear. Okay, so I'm gonna put like the house up in that. I can't see shit. Oh shit. Oh, that's a big house. I wonder if it can fit in that for some reason.
Please paradox from creating any refrains. Explosive dream overload.
Trust.
Paradox overload.
Oh, what's this? RTX.
Please overload for dream explosion. Exclusion dream overcall mainframe.
I think it's snowing. Flashbang through the door. Oh shit. There's doors over there. Oh shit. More over there. Oh, that's Gil. Yo, how you doing, dude? Merry Christmas! Oh shit. Oh? Well, shit. Oh? Kitty. Cam. Is that like the OnlyFans
My name is
emote?
Dr. Glenn Pierce, and many years ago, I had a dream. I found myself in a place where I understood that each of us begins as nothing, where everything I perceived was shaped by seeing it exactly the way I wanted to. White space.
Oh, racist. Slalom. 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 Slalom, 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 slalom. There's another cat gif, but it's opening its mouth wide. Is it trying to eat a basketball? Cats can't eat basketballs, it shouldn't be encouraged either. Oh shit, super hot. Super hot. Oh no! I'm pretty sure that one said female toads and I wanted to read it more. Shit, we'll never know. Pretty sure it was female toads. Pretty sure it's laggy. Not an exit? Huh. They got me. They got me and my frames, it seems. Pop cat! Do I have to hardcore parkour? Hardcore parkour? Yeah, I killed it. Oh, this is super laggy though. Yep, like 3 frames per second, I'm feeling that. I don't know why. Try and move slower. Everything is going on here, yeah, apparently so. Cam and game. Camera is matching frames to the game. Oh, is it? Oh, savage. Yeah, I think it's just a game fucking up OBS. As soon as I get through this level, the better. And gone? No? Nope, nope. Still live, just real bad frames at the moment. It's the game doing it, it's this level. Apparently the lack of colour is the issue. Yeah, right. Ah. There we go. Should be better for you now. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what it's like. This game just, yeah. I think it's because it's in windowed mode. I can't have full screen mode on games anymore. Oh shit. Man, it must have been such a headfuck, like, making this game. Like, even just trying to stitch all this stuff together so seamlessly. It's just a game's shit, yeah. But yeah, no, the quality goes up and down for me on this game as well. It's definitely not just you guys. It's definitely not like Twitch or anything. Oh, oh shit. I forgot we can still do this shit. There we go, thank you. I hope we're getting close to the end because
I also faced the
audio is flawless.
challenge I
Alright,
could
it's cool.
imagine.
Stream is still half an
Because
FPS.
with a lifetime of life itself behind me,
Yeah.
and all of the weight that it carried, I realized that seeing things the way I wanted to was not as easy as it used to be.
How's it looking? Stream itself is holding it. It's just a game. OBS isn't struggling it, although it does seem to be taking the camera with it, doesn't it? The camera does seem laggy still. Huh? Thought we've been done did there. Right, cool. Right, yep. No! My fault? I've never been to blame for anything. Ever. In the world. You're just jealous of my potato. Get out of here. Get out of here. Nice. This is basically what, if you ignore the flaw, this is just untextured model.
You're well beyond dreaming now, and further out than anyone has ever come.
Fuck those apples. I'll do it again.
We hope that you won't get discouraged. After all, if this is a place of pure perspective, isn't it also a place where a different point of view could make anything possible? Isn't that why you came here?
I don't want giant badgers to be possible. This is one bit I actually remember. You have to put these on the blocks, or you fall through. Like that, see? If he keeps putting his jungle in it, that's the problem. Again, I mean, unless it's illegal, I think, but it's tech who needs to catch up, you know? Oh, nearly walked too far. The apples could be the reason. I mean, it was already, as soon as I got in this game earlier, it... What? It fell through that one. It was already lagging when I turned it on. I wholeheartedly think it is purely just the fact that I'm having to run it in windowed mode. Just in case. Whoa. Definitely can't get on that. Zero, yo. I got a save. Why is it saving? Final boss, yeah, right. So, where is my phone? Just to keep it there out. Did I leave it in the bathroom? Maybe. Oh, okay. Sure, that works. That's too far away, isn't it? That's too low now. Oh, okay, that was close. God damn it. There we go. Guessing I fall on the white ones? Because there is no white ones. I'm guessing I just fall. Whee. Nice. Oh, fuck me. Right, okay. Oh. 7:29 a.m. 59 a.m. The impression went to 1% in that room. I know it was terrible on them, but it was cool if you go in like a straight line. 8 a.m. My phone in the bathroom. Oh god, not this room again. How did I even get out of this room last time?
Hello.
I've already forgotten.
My name is Dr. Glenn Pierce, and by now you may have realised that all of this has happened.
You read the 7:29 too.
as supposed to.
I think they lied to us. I think
You
they
see,
didn't do it properly.
Everyone
Yeah.
who comes to the institute
I think we're at the
does
end.
so because they feel that they are no longer in control of something important to them. But more often than not, the problem is not that the problems we face can't be solved. The problem is that we become so
This game's basically a combination of different Christopher Nolan movies.
perspective.
Like a bit Interstellar, a
we do
bit
the
Tenet.
same things again and again and again. And therein, of course, we find exactly the failure we were looking for.
Hey, Mr. Bouncy! Mr. Hoppy! Oh, police caution. What happened? That's nice. Do you think we'll go back and there'll be 1,000 apples waiting for us? I really hope the apples are still waiting for us.
Your life will always be a struggle.
Oh, great.
And you will always have problems.
Good to know.
But today, you have the chance to see things differently.
Because it's Christmas.
Even though it meant facing obstacles that seemed impossible at first, you thought outside the box and you overcame them. Because you saw things from every angle, you understood them for what they really were. Because you kept moving forward, no matter how far off the path you were told you were headed, or how unexpected it became, you found your way.
How do you like those apples? You never seen Good Will Hunting? I know it's from that, but I've never actually watched that movie. I've seen many like piss takes of it, but I've never actually watched the movie. Can I get a soda from my way out? No. Okay.
In a few minutes, you'll be back in the real world. Some part of you will say that none of this was real. So
it was a
how
game.
could it have really meant anything?
Games are real because they were made.
But just like the power of perspective itself, it will have been as real as you believed it to be. All you've got to do is wait up.
Grab a brush. Put a little makeup. And there we go. Nice. Well, we're not going to have time for multiplayer games, but that was a fucking awesome game. It's currently on sale on Steam as well. You did all just see the playthrough, but it's really fun. It's a cool game, man. Like, again, I'm always up for games. Like, games like this, I think, are my, like, one of my faves. Like, sort of indie games that are maybe, like, 2 to 4 hours long, but just kind of make you do different types of puzzle to, like, really out-of-the-box type shit. Yeah. Good Will Hunting is viewed positively? I believe so. Yeah, I believe Good Will Hunting's known as, like, well, it's a good movie, as far as I hear. I don't know if it's a positive movie overall. It was broke a promise. I didn't say the words promise. I just said we'd do it and we didn't. Yeah. It's a good film? Okay, maybe I should check it out at some point. But yeah, this was cool. This was a really good game, man. I'm glad I got it. Why Gil? Why not Gil? Why not? Yeah. But yeah, you guys can blame my brother for wanting to see a relative on Christmas. I didn't actually take a notice of what the studio was who made this game. I'm gonna assume Gil made it. Hence why Iron said, why Gil? Like, why did you make it, Gil? You know, I think he just wanted to find out more. What's your opinion on pre-built PCs? You already blame Enzimo. Yeah, right. It wasn't actually him, it's the other brother, but yeah, right. Wop is out of stock, really? I'll do a free one for you. That was called, Too Many. Yeah. Thanks for dreaming. Thanks for having me sleep in your pants. And pre-built PCs, yeah. So, they can be alright. I mean, to be fair, you can basically, like, we have something called, like, PC Part Picker. Oh, no, PC Part Picker is one you can look online anyway. But, like, we used to, like, I got my PC from Overclockers UK, which I think is where Almighty got his as well. But you don't want to, with those, they're kind of like pre-built, but much more to your design. So you pick, right, I want this GPU, and then they're like, right, well, this GPU will work with these CPUs, for example. So, like, it's kind of like, it's like pre-built, but you more choose your ones. Those are alright. The ones where it's just like, this is this, can be a bit hit and miss. But if you ever find any deals, just post them on my Discord or something, dude, and we'll let you know, how good of an actual system it is, kind of thing. But in regards to pre-builds, the only other pre-builds that can be good is potential second-hand ones. There's always the risk that the electronics are not going to work as well, but yeah, second-hand PCs can still be pretty decent. Because usually it's just because someone wants to get a much better PC, so they just flog their older one. Yeah, and Bakuras came from Overclockers as well, yeah. I don't know, you got a part from Overclockers, right? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know if you have like a similar thing in America. So challenge mode,